Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy M.G.T.O.W here. Hope you like this video. Do my best to entertain you all and do the best job that I can as per usual. Hopefully I won't be too boring. But I'm thinking of the song, I'm sure people have heard of it, where it says, it's a man's world, but it won't be nothing without a woman. I thought, just to be contrarian, I would flip the title on its head and say, it's a woman's world, but it won't be anything without man or a boy, as the title suggests. Now, I don't mean to offend any females out there, but I suppose they say the grass is greener on the other side, and like people say, it's a man's world. But when I look at the world, I think there are many benefits that, in my opinion at least, and I'm sure, and I've heard other people say similar. There are many benefits that females, if you like, get. For instance, having providers, protectors, and things like that. So if a woman doesn't have a job, there's not as much pressure on her to get a job or to have a career or to have a business or have money. And normally it's seen as a male's job to provide. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, to me, if I could choose which position I was in, I know which one I would choose personally, which you can probably guess. And like say, being mixed race, for instance, if people start saying mixed race guys, mixed race males were going to be treated like women, I don't think mixed race guys should complain about that. If that was the case, I think we should be like, yeah, we really would get the best of both worlds. But I think both genders have advantages. Like, for instance, natural advantages. Obviously, males don't have to have, it's a bit gross to talk about, but males don't have to have periods or pain for childbirth, or if we want to have children, or those sorts, and also a lot of responsibilities in that kind of area. So I think there are some advantages, and I suppose if you're a female, like, if you're judged by your looks, obviously when you get to a certain age, like when you get to about 30 or 40, you're not going to look, or even 30, you're not going to look as good as, say, necessarily, you're generally not going to look as good as like when you were in your teens or early 20s or whatever. So in a way, I think, as I say, there are benefits. I'm not saying males don't have any benefits when I think about it, because, like I say, to me, those sorts of things I just talked about. So there's 2 or 3, maybe 4 benefits that males have, and I suppose we can earn more. But if you look at a lot of guys, the reasons why most guys want to earn more or chase success and money and all that is because, generally speaking, on average, one thing is I've learned as I've grown older, and I was very naive, I didn't know this when I was younger, is how, let's face it, which is fair enough, I understand it in a way, but, and probably when I first heard about it, I was probably like really, I had sour grapes, I was really bitter about it, saying, oh, women are gold diggers. But really, some people might say, whether you believe in evolution or you believe in God, it's really a natural thing for them to go for, I suppose. Just like males will go for looks, or some people say, like, say for instance, fertility or things like that, especially if you want to have children, or even generally just a natural response. Like I talked about before, I believe in God, but if you're an evolutionist, you'll have your own theory. Otherwise, you believe God probably put it into us for some reason or the other. In fact, some people might say I'm rebelling or disobeying God in a way, in terms of not wanting to have those traditional roles. But anyway, I thought of the song, as I say, it's a man's world. You know, I think it's Nat King Cole or something like that. I can't quite remember. I know it's an African American singer, but it sings, it's a man's world, it's a man's world, but it won't be nothing without a woman or a girl. And I was thinking, like, to flip it, because I think so many times, like, people can still call it male bashing or whatever, or man bashing. And so many times people talk about toxic masculinity, or how males are no good and they're lazy, or whatever. People, like adverts, and they show males in a bad light, and things like, again, toxic masculinity and harassment and whatever else. And even though it's like, even in prison, like, people who are abusive, like, you know, people who are child abusers and all that, they get beaten up in prison by males, generally speaking, just as much, if not more, than by females, if you know what I mean. And historically, there have been some cases where females are being abusive as well. So I think it's unfair. And like males are told to open the door for females and carry things for them and buy them things and look after them, be attention, time, money, ATM, so that little acronym I come up with, and things like that. And yet it's sort of like males are seen as not doing much or not being of much use, even though males are supposed to be the providers and the and whatever. Again, I'm not really bashing females. I just thought I'd be contrarian, and I like to be a bit contrarian. Like I don't want to swear, but there's like a saying, "Get off your backside," or say instead of the other word, which begins with A. You can probably work it out. But I was thinking like sometimes I'd say, "Get on your backside," just to be contrarian and talk about how nowadays a lot of careers are like more mental than physical, and more like you can use IT skills. You'll probably sit down for a long time, but it doesn't mean you're being lazy. It just means you're making money in a different way, earning a career in a different way. Anyway, I hope I make some sort of sense. I'm going to try not to waffle, as I say, but hope I'm not come across as really unfair or biased. But anyway, or as ever, like alternative opinions are more than welcome. I've been thinking about this idea for quite a while. So as I say, like being contrarian to the song, like I think a lot of like boys, I say males of all ages really, so are told to open the door for females. You're not allowed to hit females. You have to provide for them. Like even when guys first start dating, they're expected to buy drinks and open the doors for people and be gentlemen, and at the same time we're expected to be tough and those sorts of things. So we're given conflicted messages in a way, perhaps. Like I often think, when people say, like a comedian was talking about, and I know it's just a joke, but it's probably based on reality. It's like when they thought there was an intruder in his house, so his wife said, "Go and see who that is," and all that. And he was like, "I'm scared." She's like, "Oh, you're supposed to be the man. You're supposed to be the protector." So in a way, it's like at the same time he's being told what to do. So there's a sort of in my opinion, there's sort of contradictory sort of lessons we're taught. But I love to know what people think. Like I hope that they don't be too harsh or think it or take it the wrong way. But if they think I'm woman bashing or anything like that, but yeah, I think like all the contributions that are made by males as well. Come to think of it, like buildings that we live in, cars that we drive. I don't drive at the moment, but for the people who drive, who have shelter over the head, all these things were built by males and put under pressure. Like males who sent. I'm not a big fan of militarism, as I've talked before, but males are sent to risk their lives in wars. A lot of the times, like I'm sure in the police, generally it's the males, I imagine, who would go out into the most dangerous situations, told to risk ourselves on average. I normally just hide in my house, but on a serious note, like it's males who are told to do this sort of things and like risk ourselves, and yet we're told it seems okay to bash males and say that we don't do anything. And yet, I mean, for a male, I'd be seen as quite lazy, perhaps, or not masculine enough, or whatever. But so I think there's a lot less pressure on females. Like if you don't have a job, or you don't have a career, or you lose your job, you can just say, well, find a boyfriend will pay for the drinks or whatever. That's the way I see it anyway. From what I've never been on a date, but to be honest, but probably giving a bit too much info away there. But for those who have, I hear that generally speaking, like a lot of women will say, "I don't want to date you unless you earn a certain amount, unless you drive a certain car, unless you have a certain house, unless you've got a better car, a better house, or whatever." So in a way, I think it's a bit unfair that males are told. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about males in general who are much more active and proactive and productive than me. Are told that males are no good. Again, toxic masculinity, and like sometimes males are. You'll see videos of like women punching males or throwing things at them or getting aggressive with them, and like the males expect to be like, "Oh, you're a woman, so I'm not going to fight back." And yet, this term toxicness that I hear, like toxic masculinity and all that, seems to be applied to males, and it's seen that males are objectifying women or something, but then it seems okay for women to objectify males for what we earn and things like that. And I was going to say something, but I lost my train of thought. But anyway, I think this video, it's been about 10 minutes long. I was thinking of some other things, but I'm going to try and include them in future videos. But yeah, I thought I'd get through to this video and hope get round to making this video. So and I hope someone out there likes it. I'd love to hear what people think, whatever gender they are, whatever background they are, and maybe even some women out there will agree with me, or think that at least I get with some interesting points. Anyway, I'll try and stop waffling. Peace on.